Welcome back, my dear students. We are starting with our second part of the chapter metals and non-metals. In the first part, we have learned the physical properties of metals, non-metals and metalloids. Now, in the second part, we are going to see some of the chemical properties of them. So, let's move further. So, chemical properties of metals. The first will be the electronic configuration, which we will see for all the metals. So, few examples we will see here. So, electronic configuration we have learned in our topic inside the atom. So, basically electronic configuration is the distribution of electrons in different orbits or different shells. So, on the basis of electronic configuration, it is seen that majority of metals have up to 3 electrons in their outermost shell. Since they have up to 3 electrons, means it is easier to give away an electron, and therefore they always give away electrons and they become stable. Since they are giving away electrons, they become a positively charged cation or a positively charged ion. We will see that further. So, this is with respect to electronic configuration in metals. Next, let us see what is the next chemical property. So, as I told you that they are giving away electrons, right? So, here we have something known as formation of ions. Now, metals have a tendency to lose their valence electron to form positively charged ion, that is cations. Now, what is this cation? Can you see here the first example given, sodium Na? It is giving away one electron. Okay, now why have we written that Na plus on top? This is because we know that in any atom of any element, both positive and negative charges are same, means protons and electrons are same, correct? But here, if one electron is given away from the atom, means now the atom has more positive charge because one negative charge has gone away, and therefore the atom which is left behind is denoted by a plus sign, and this is known as the positive ion of sodium. Okay, look at the next example, magnesium 282. So 2 electrons are going to given away. So now the magnesium atom which is left behind has 2 positive charges more, and therefore we write plus 2 times on top. Same is with aluminium. Aluminium has electronic configuration 283. It is going to give away 3 electrons, means 3 negative charges are going to get reduced, and therefore it has 3 positive charges more, and therefore we write it as A plus plus plus, means 3 times plus sign. This is the positive ion of aluminium. So you can't write it as aluminium atom. It's no more an atom because it has given away its electrons, correct? Therefore we have to write this as ion. So whenever you have any atom with this plus sign on top, means it is ion of a particular atom. Okay, so these are the chemical properties of metals. Now let us see some more properties of metals. These are the first two. Now next property is that metals react with oxygen. Now we all have seen metal getting rusted, correct? So here it is nothing but the reaction of metal with the atmospheric oxygen. So here metals combine with oxygen to form their oxides. So that orange color rust which is formed on iron iron objects, or you can say any iron tools, is nothing but iron oxide. Okay, so any metal reacts with oxygen to form its metal oxide. The metal oxide are basic in nature. Metal oxides react with an acid to form salt and water. So metal oxides, when they react with acid, they form salt and water. So usually this technique is used for cleaning metal. Okay, so when you have any rusted metal, acid is being used to clean it. Let us see the next chemical property of metals. Next, we have reaction of metals with acids. Take dilute hydrochloric acid in a test tube, that is HCl. Then add zinc dust to it. Take a glowing splinter near the mouth of the tube. So we have taken acid, we have taken zinc dust, means zinc is the metal, and a glowing splinter. Splinter is nothing but a wooden stick which is being used. So glowing means they burn the stick. So already it is ignited and then you take it near the mouth of the tube. Now we observe the glowing splinter. You will notice some sound coming from it. So you will have a sound coming from it. Most of the metals react with dilute acid to form metal salts while hydrogen gas is being released. So because of this hydrogen gas, you will have a pop sound, which will be a popping sound which will be heard, and the hydrogen gas, it is flammable. So because of this reaction, when hydrogen gas is released, the flame will be the flame will get little brighter. Okay, so this test helps us to prove that metals do react with acid and they form salt and release hydrogen gas. Okay. Next, let us see what is the next chemical next chemical property. Next, metals also react with water. Most metals do not show any observable or and fast reaction with cold water, but some metals like sodium and potassium react with cold water to produce their hydroxides and hydrogen gas. Magnesium metal requires steam to give similar reaction. So all the metals, they don't show quick reaction, okay, but over the time, because of the atmospheric climate change, or along with moisture, some heat present in the surrounding, they can lead to changes, okay. So the metal rusting of metal can also take place because of presence of water along with oxygen. So these are all 5 chemical properties of metals. First one was electronic configuration. Second one was formation of ion. Third was reaction with oxygen. Then we had fourth one, reaction with acid. And the fifth one, that is reaction with water. Now let us see chemical properties of non-metals. So chemical properties of non-metals. The first one here, electronic configuration. So most of the non-metals have 4 to 7 electrons in the valence shells. So we have taken here some examples. Nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine. You can see their electronic configuration. So they usually have more than 3 electrons and it goes up to 7. So 4 to 7 in the outermost shell. So here we can see that they have a tendency of taking an electron to become a stable atom, and therefore since they take in electrons, they get negatively charged. They are taking more electrons, right, means negative charge, and therefore they form negatively charged ions known as anions, which we will see in the next chemical property of non-metal. Yes, so second one is formation of ions. Non-metals have a tendency to accept electrons in their valence shell to form negatively charged ions called anions. So same thing what I explained just now. Let us see the example so that you understand this better. Chlorine is going to take in an electron, correct, because it is 287, so it needs one electron to become an octet, and therefore since it is taking one extra electron, the atom is having more negative charge now, and therefore it is written as Cl minus. Then oxygen is taking 2 electrons more, and therefore it is written as O minus minus, twice the negative sign on top. Nitrogen is going to take 3 electrons more, so that it becomes an octet, and therefore we write 3 negative signs on top. So you can see how the electronic configuration is changing after accepting the electrons, and the newly formed atoms are nothing but ions. Okay, so negatively charged ions of that particular element. The next property of nonmetals is reaction with oxygen. So nonmetals also combine with oxygen to form their oxides. So nonmetal plus oxygen is nothing but nonmetal oxide. The oxides of nonmetals are acidic in nature. They react with bases to form soluble salt and water. So carbon plus oxygen gives us CO2, that is carbon dioxide. Then carbon dioxide reacts with base. So first we have carbon which reacts with oxygen to form a non-metallic oxide. This non-metallic oxide reacts with base, that is NaOH, sodium hydroxide, to give Na2CO3 plus H2O, that is salt plus water, sodium carbonate plus water. So some more examples. The oxides of nonmetals react with water to form an acid. So carbon dioxide reacts with water, that is CO2 plus water, gives carbonic acid, that is H2CO3. Sulfur dioxide reacts with H2O to form sulfurous acid, that is H2SO3, and SO3, that is sulfur trioxide reacts with water to form H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid is one of the strongest acids. Okay. So these are the reactions of non-metals with oxygen, and when they form their oxides, how do these oxides react with water? Then non-metals do not react with dilute acids as in case of metals. Okay. So we are done with the chemical properties of non-metals also. Now quickly let us see some uses of metals and non-metals. So here are listed some uses of metals. Iron is used for making various articles or various objects. Some of them are listed here like pins, nails, nuts, bolts, tools, machines, construction of buildings, bridges, etc. Aluminium is used for making utensils, wires, furniture, parts of aircrafts, vehicles, machines for packing food and medicines. So we have aluminium foil. That's why it's mentioned here, packing of food. Copper is used for making wires, electrical gadgets, vessels, etc. Gold is used for making jewelry, coins, medals, and even in dentistry. So you must have heard people getting a gold teeth being implanted. Okay, so this is also used in the dental industry. Silver is used for making jewelry, coins, medals, and even in dental industry. Platinum is used for making jewelry, electrical gadgets, plugs in vehicles, etc. Now, platinum is one of the expensive metal, most expensive metal. So it's very rarely used in any smaller tools. Okay, and it's one of the noble metals. Gold, silver, and platinum. Sorry, gold and platinum are the noble metals. Therefore, they are very expensive. Noble means they do not react easily in the atmosphere with any gases or with water. So they remain as it is. They don't get rusted or they do not get spoiled. Sodium compounds are used as common salt, various chemicals in the laboratories, etc. Common salt, I hope you know the formula, that is NaOH, sodium hydroxide, and so we are not directly using sodium, but we are using its compounds. So all the baking soda and baking powder which we use, all of these are having sodium into it. And the last one is calcium. Calcium compounds are used for making cement, glass, etc. So these are some uses of metals listed here. You can learn some of the uses of if you know on your own also. But please make sure that they are relevant. So now let us see some uses of metals. First is sulfur. Sulfur is used for making sulfuric acid and various salts of metals. Oxygen, we all know oxygen is required by all living organisms for respiration, for burning of fuels, etc. Nitrogen is used for making ammonia, which is used for making fertilizers. Nitrogen is an important compound in fertilizers which is required for farming and for cultivation. Hydrogen is used for making ammonia, which is used for making fertilizers again. Also used as fuel in rockets and for welding. Chlorine is used to kill germs in water. So in swimming pools, usually chlorine is being added. That different smell which we get when we go for swimming or when we go to water parks, that is nothing but the chlorine smell, because chlorine is a antibacterial, so it kills all the germs which are present in the water and prevents any kind of spread of infections. Last one is iodine. Iodine is used as tincture iodine, which is an antiseptic. So that red color solution which is being put onto a wound when you suddenly get hurt, or especially in school, when you hurt yourself, you have been given first aid with a red color solution, that is nothing but tincture iodine. So it's an antiseptic. Okay. So here we come to end of our part 2 of this chapter. We have one more part, that is part 3. So till that part is being uploaded, please go through the chapter till wherever I have taught you. Read the chapter thoroughly, and do practice the reactions in the chapter. Please do return practice